Thanks for joining me today. I'm Joel, and on this channel, we talk about photography, filmmaking, and other travel-related videos. Today's video is inspired by fellow YouTuber and stock photographer, Matt Fowler. So Matt started a 30-day stock photography challenge for July, where you upload at least 30 assets, whether they be videos or images, in the whole month of July, and then share what you uploaded. Now he's actually running a contest on this, and so this actually is going to be partly my entry for this contest where you can win a couple prizes. I've talked about this in my previous stock earnings videos if you've seen those. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you all of the images and videos that I uploaded for this stock photography challenge. If you didn't participate in the stock photography challenge, that's okay. Be sure to stick around and watch the video anyways, so that you can see some of the images and videos that other stock photographers like myself are creating. And I'm hoping that by sharing this, it'll be somewhat of an inspiration for you as well. But to make this video even more interesting, I'm gonna be sharing with you some of the behind the scenes details as we go through and look at the images and videos. If you're excited for today's video, go ahead and type in stock 1000 in the comments below. And then once you do that, we'll go ahead and get started. Now, since the majority of my stock photography catalog is travel related, since that's kind of what I do full time, I will be dividing my submissions accordingly. So our first submission category is going to be Puerto Rico. Now, I spent 2 months living in Puerto Rico, and that was actually almost 2 years ago now, which kind of makes me sad thinking about that because I loved it so much. And the truth is that I'm still editing a lot of those images and videos even 2 years later, which is part of my problem. If you've watched any of my stock photography videos, you'll know that I have this big problem of trying to get through all of the massive amounts of content that I tend to create as I travel. So first off, let's go ahead and start with a few of these pictures. These first few images are actually from Luquillo Beach in Puerto Rico. And you'll notice there's a mix of kind of editorial and commercial images in here. A lot of these beach shots that you're seeing were actually photographed with a Tamron 70 to 180 lens and was shot on my A7 III. I've also got a couple of model released images as well in here. This of like my wife here on the beach, and all of this stuff with the red lifeguard hut, which is a really like a fixture on the beach there in Puerto Rico. So we did a whole bunch of kind of different poses and things around that. And then here we're on another beach. This is actually Seven Seas Beach in Puerto Rico. And this is in the shade, which is a nice way to like make sure you have nice even light. And we filmed all of this with that Tamron 70 to 180 lens, which is why you get that really nice bokeh in the background. Of course, using my wife as a model is really helpful because I don't have to worry as much about model releases with her, and I can sell those as commercial images too. And you can see I've also got a bunch of other kind of shots that I've taken of just people walking down the beach and just interacting. And of course, those are going to be editorial images. These were all shot with the same lens combination. And then here you'll see a couple of my aerial photography images. These were actually filmed with a drone. I don't have a lot of those, but it's a little Mavic Mini 2 is what I've been shooting with. And this is also of Seven Seas Beach in Fajardo. Okay, so next up, we're gonna take you into Florida, back on the mainland there. We're gonna go to Siesta Key, and these are a series of videos that I submitted. The first one you see is the Skyway Bridge there that connects like St. Pete down to, or basically the top of like Sarasota area. And then you'll also see a shot there of the Siesta Key Village, which is like this really cool little village in Siesta Key with my wife's favorite little donut shop. And that's of course is an editorial image as well. And then there's this shot of the Midnight Pass Bridge. This is one of 2 bridges that connect Siesta Key to Sarasota. It is a drawbridge, but I did not get the bridge going up, unfortunately. But luckily, since it was at sunset, that was really helpful. We got a nice shot. And that again also was shot with a 70 to 180 Tamron lens. Now the place that we were staying, I also took advantage of that and photographed some of the grounds. In that case there you saw, that was the tennis courts of our location. And that was actually filmed on just a DJI Osmo action camera. While I was down there, there was also a really cool full moon. So I tried my best to try to get some shots of a full moon. And this was all filmed with my A7 III on a really kind of janky tripod. It was, actually, I think it was a monopod. I had it on a monopod, so it was a little shaky, but it was accepted for stock. So next up, we're going to take you to Bulgaria, which is a place that I have traveled to a few times, and I'm actually filming this from Bulgaria, although most of what I'm about to see was actually shot last year. Again, it takes me a while to upload this stuff. This first set of images are from the local grocery store in town. It's actually a fairly new grocery store, so that's why I photographed it, and that is the Billa. It's like a German brand, but they've got one here in Bansko. And also decided to try my hand at uploading a couple kind of pictures of just pricing and things, so you can see what the shelves look like, because a lot of people probably don't know what that looks like. So in July, I just uploaded a couple, like one image of it, just to see if it does anything, and then I might upload more. I do have quite a few more images like that from our travels. Now, this next series of images is actually from one of the main walking paths in Bansko. It's an awesome little town. It's a ski resort in the wintertime, and in the summer, it's fantastic for just walking around like through its old town. This is Pirin Street, and as you can see, all the way at the end of the street is, you can see the mountains there, and that's actually the peak of one of the tallest peak in the Pirin Mountains, and that is Virin. Also down that street, you'll notice there are a really cool Orthodox church, and at the top of which you can see these storks. They have lots of storks in Bulgaria. They're nested all over the place around here. And then this shot here was actually of one of my favorite little pizza restaurants that we eat at all the time when we're in Bansko. And if you ask me, it's the best pizza there is. It's a nice thin crust. Oh, it's so good. Great owners. So anyways, I photographed that and uploaded that as an editorial image too. And then you also see just another example of food pics. I don't do a lot of food pics, but this was traditional Bulgarian food, and it's generally created in a clay pot that's then put onto the table. And the restaurant that we went to here was actually they actually serve it, they take it out and serve it onto an iron skillet. But it is called sash, or sash. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. It's also very good. And then this next couple of shots here are of those storks again. And this was a really close-up shot I was able to get with one of my favorite travel lenses, which is my little 18-300 Tamron lens. And that actually is an APS-C lens, and those were actually shot with a ZVE 10. Like, you still get a pretty good image on that. And those are basically at 300 mil. And next, this is like one of my absolutely favorite views in town, in Bansko. And it is actually of Tordorka Peak, which is also where all of the skiing takes place. And it's the Glazine River that flows up there. So it's an epic, epic view. And almost any time you walk by, it is just an epic view like that, especially all summer long. This next image is actually of kind of what you see very often in town, walking around. And it's these like, you kind of get a sense of what the traditional housing looks like. It's like always like some kind of like a stucco or stone work. And in this case, there's a lot of grapevines in town. And so people like have grapevines everywhere, which is so cool, because throughout the summer, you get to watch these grapes go from these tiny little seeds, I guess, into like these big plump grapes. And this is just one of my favorite little vines that walks around. So I took a picture of it and uploaded it as stock. And this is a scene that I've actually seen a few times in Bansko, and it's the farmers will take their cattle and move them from one end of town to the other end of town, and where there's different fields, like this is on the outskirts of town. And so one day I managed to get a shot of all of the cows being herded down the road, which was kind of fun. So I uploaded a stock. We'll see if it ends up selling, but nonetheless, it's kind of an interesting kind of peek into the life in like a small Bulgarian town. Now this video is actually from a little town called Melnik, and it's in the wine region of Bulgaria. It's essentially, the river is dry in the summertime. And so we were just kind of walking up there on a tour that we did. And so I thought I'd upload that as well, since I couldn't find a whole lot of images or videos actually of Melnik anywhere. And the last category is from the Czech Republic. And I just have a couple images here that I uploaded. This first is from Brno, and that was the square in Brno in the old town there. And it's just absolutely charming. As you can see, there's tram tracks that run through as well. And that was also shot on my ZVE10 with the same 18 to 300 mil lens setup that I use. It's become my kind of go-to travel setup when I'm out and about, mostly because the camera is a lot lighter weight, and so it's a little easier for me to kind of like carry around. Now this next one is also from Brno, and that's actually of the, I cannot remember the name of the church, but in the background is I think it's called the Spielberg Castle, and it's the main castle there in the city that just sits up on the top of the hill. And in the final image was this really cool door. This was the door to our actually where we were staying, our apartment while we were in Brno. And it just was kind of a really interesting door. So I took a picture of it and uploaded it as well. And that one actually was taken with my my phone, just like a Samsung Galaxy S22, I believe. So we'll see if it gets purchased at all, but there you go. So for my normal viewers, hey, stick around, because coming out really soon will be my video for my June stock photography. I'm a little behind on these, but June is coming up next. I will be filming that and releasing it in the next week or so. And other than that, be sure to subscribe so that if you're not already, so that you'll know when my videos pop up and you can check them out and be inspired, or even learn a little bit about how much money I'm making off of the different stock agencies and which ones are good and which ones maybe not so good, all that good stuff. And also check out Matt's video. I will leave a link in the description where you can look at his stock photography challenge video, where I'll be linking everybody who participated in the challenge will be posting links to their videos in the comments, so you can go check that out too if you want to see what some other people are doing as well. Anyways, thanks so much for watching. Cheers.